So when I get this to grade, you really want to make sure that in the first value scale that they all look different, okay? So if you give me a value scale where like your 3 is darker than your 5, you're going to miss the 3. Or if your 3, 4, and 5 are the same, you're probably going to miss like 4 and 5. Okay, so you need to make sure that it's nice and smooth and it's differentiated, that each value looks different from the one before and after it. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is now we're going to work on this second value scale, and we're doing kind of the same thing here, but we're doing a little more difficult technique where we are going to get our value range by not really stopping or going square by square. We're going to get a really nice fade, okay? And it's kind of a bit more difficult than you would think, okay? So if you're using the pencils in your supply pack and you want to use the same pencil that I'm using, I'm going to use the B pencil, the 4B, or you can use a regular. It doesn't really matter. Once we get down to this part, these last two sections on the worksheet you have to use your pencil that's coming out of your pack, okay? So what I'm going to do is I am going to use my B pencil and I'm going to start in between the 0 and the 1, and then I'm going to work my way through, and by the time that I get to 10, I should be pressing as hard as I can on here. And the way that this works is I kind of do one pass and it'll look kind of iffy, and then I'm gonna go back over it from right to left to smooth it out and to make sure that I get my values set the way that I want to, okay? So remember that yesterday I talked about how you can hold your pencil different to help you with pressure. So because I'm gonna start with the one category, I want to hold my pencil towards the back end. So I'm going to just let it very carefully rest on this paper, just barely, and I'm going ahead and I'm going to start moving my pencil up and down so it's starting to apply the graphite, and I'm going to work my way to the right. Darn it. Thanks, guys. I'm sorry. Here we go. Better? Yeah. I do that sometimes. Please, like, speak up. Yeah, make sure you speak up whenever, because it's kind of hard to follow along when, you know, you can't see anything. Okay, so thanks for that. Sorry. All right, so kind of resuming, I'm letting this pencil just rest on the top of the paper, and as I move more to the right, I kind of let my hand apply a little more pressure the more and more, or the further and further I go, okay? So right here, and I'm kind of trying to match the values from my scale up above it. So right now I'm doing a little bit more hesitation where I'm starting out hopefully a lot lighter than what I think I would need so that I can come back over the top and fix it if needed. Also going outside the line, so that's okay to do that here, but then I want you to clean it up as you go, okay? All right, so now I'm starting to use about a light medium pressure. Okay, so starting to really see a difference in there, and I'm gonna have to smooth that out. It was too fast of a change. Okay, so I'm more on the lighter side starting out now, and that's okay. So my values aren't really matching my top value scale as of right now, and that's fine because I'm going to come back over the top of it with another layer. I'm going to scooch my worksheet over just a bit so I give myself a little more room. I'm going to kind of change the position of holding the pencil, so I'm about middle pencil holding it there. All right. And again, I'm hesitating on the lighter side. Hey, just set your pass down there. Yeah. Thanks, Kenna. Okay, now I'm going to really start exerting pressure here, but it's still not as hard as I possibly could press on my pencil. Okay, so you can see that I've established a fade, but it's not near as dark as I need it to be, okay? So that's how you can kind of work value, is you can establish a starting point, and then you can always go back on top to make it darker. So that's what I'm gonna do now. So I'm gonna start on my 10 side, and I'm going to really apply pressure on this pencil. Okay, so that I can get that 10 to be really nice and dark. So then I'm going to use kind of the opposite tactic, where as I move to the right, I'm going to, or excuse me, as I move to the left, I'm gonna start using less and less pressure. Okay, just working nice and slow, trying to be thorough. Okay, so you should see nice gradual fades there. So still kind of working it. Okay, so you guys can see that with my second layer on there, I'm getting it quite a bit darker, and I'm actually targeting my shades better. So sometimes with value, it's kind of give and take. You just go over, kind of do redos, recorrects, fixes to actually achieve the values you need to achieve. All right, so really starting to lighten my pressure up here. Kind of moving my hand, ooh, my arm's getting tired. Moving my hand a little faster across the page so I don't put too much value down. Really lightening my pressure up here in this area. So now we're kind of barely skimming the top of that paper. There we go. Okay, not too shabby. Got a little oops right in here. Okay, so I got where I put down too much pressure just in that area. I'm just gonna leave it for right now because it's, in my opinion, kind of better to leave that goof than to try and erase that out and then fix it from there. So I'm just taking my eraser now and cleaning up. Because even in exercises, we can practice being cleanly with our work. All right, almost done. Okay, how'd you guys do on that one? Was it a little more difficult than you thought it'd be? A little challenging? Okay. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and move on. If you're still working on that part, that's okay. You can always come back to it. And I'll be putting up a demonstration video. Canvas got fixed, by the way, about halfway through the day yesterday. Okay. So here's where we need to see the differences between pencils. So not only can you get different values varying the pressure that you use on your pencil, but you can also get different values just based on the pencil itself and the softness or hardness of the graphite. So you need to pull out your H pencil and have your B pencil on standby. Okay? In this 2H box, and some of you are going to have a 2H and some of you are going to have a 4H. It doesn't really matter, just as long as you have an H. And you're going to fill in this box using heavy pressure. Okay, so you're kind of going for a 10. Okay, again, if you go outside the lines, that's all right. I don't mind that as long as you get it cleaned up. Okay, so you're using heavy pressure. And you guys are going to notice that with this H pencil, your heavy pressure is still pretty light comparatively. Okay? Once you finish with your 2 or your H pencil, regardless on if it's 2H or 4H, then you're going to switch over to your B pencil and shoot for a 10 pressure on that. and see the difference. Okay, there should be a pretty significant difference. Your H pencil should be a lot lighter, even though you use the same pressure than your B pencil. Okay. All right. Okay, so you guys can see, like in your 2H, you can still see the text there, but in your B, it should be dark enough to where you can't see it. So that's how you can get value differences as well, not only through how you vary the pressure on your pencil, but also the pencil itself. So the B pencil has a lot softer graphite in it, so it makes it darker. The H pencil has a lot dense or harder graphite, and so it makes it lighter. Okay? All right, so now I'm going to move on to the last scale. Okay? And we're going to divide this in half. So I'm just going to draw a half Z line going through there. And you can either do this with pen or pencil, it doesn't matter. Pencil probably because you have it closer to you. Okay, and I'll give you either or option. You can either then divide this up into squares and you can work through it via one square at a time, or you can try the varying pencil pressure, whichever one that you feel most confident in, or it could be vice versa. If you didn't really do all that great up here and you want some more practice, then you can try. So either one, I'll let you do either technique, it doesn't matter. The top section, I'm going to devote that to my H pencil. Okay, so top is H, and then the bottom is going to be the B pencil. Okay, all right, so then your choice, if you want to break it up into boxes, I'm going to go ahead and just do varying pencil pressure. And I'm going to start on the top with the H pencil, and then I'm going to move down with the B pencil. So we're literally just doing the same exact thing that we've done up here. We're just putting both of our pencils kind of side by side to see how they can be different even though we use them the same way. Okay? All right, so going to hold my pencil towards the back, starting with the H first. Just going to very lightly set it down on the paper and work my way to the right. And then once I get all the way over to the right, I'll come back and work my way to the left to put a second layer on top.
Didn't you tell us yesterday not to color the zero?
Here?
Yeah, yesterday you told us not to color the zero.
What did I tell you to call it instead?
Well, color. Color. You told us not to color it at all.
Oh, yeah. Well, I kind of went it. It should be, like, I've got pure white over here. So you can start in between your 0 and your 1 if you want. But yes, you are correct. 0 should be pure white. All right. So moving my way over to the right-hand side, making my way downtown. Okay. I don't know why that just popped in my head. Just the way that I worded it sounded like that song. Okay, so I want, usually when you start with value or you're working with value, you want to go less pressure rather than more, because you can always go back on top with more layers. Okay? All right, so kind of moved my hand up the pencil a little bit. And right there, that kind of changed it. So now I'm starting to add more pressure. I'm still on the lighter side. Like if I were to write my name right now, it would be really light on the paper. And so as I move over into the 5, I moved my pencil up in my hand again. And as I move to the 5, now I'm kind of at the pressure that I would use to write my name on a piece of paper. Okay, I'm going to continue. Okay, Moved my pencil in my hand a little bit, and you know, that seems to be helping a lot more. So I started at the back of my pencil, and then as I kind of move through my values, I keep moving my pencil up gradually more and more, instead of making like big jumps, and that is actually helping a lot to get a more gradual fade. So try that if you're having problems getting a good gradual fade. Just kind of keep moving your pencil up in your hand more and more so that you can control your pressure better. Okay, starting to use more, pretty medium to heavy, medium to light heavy. Okay, choking up on the pencil more. Okay, starting to use kind of a fairly heavy pressure right in here. Now remember, when you get over to the 10, you're wanting to be pressing down on your pencil as hard as you possibly can without breaking the lead or tearing through your paper. There is a little finesse that you gotta have. Okay, so now I'm over in the 10 area, and I'm gonna start working my way from right to left, and I'm really laying on the pressure. Okay, I am kind of messy. I'm gonna go and clean it up as I go. Got to kind of be careful with this pencil because the graphite's pretty hard, and if the pencil being pretty sharp, I could tear through it, so I got to be careful. And now I'm just going over with my second layer here. And then I'm going to clean up and move on to the B pencil. All right, so just kind of strengthening up my values. As I come over to the lighter values, I am kind of moving my hand a little faster so I don't put down too much value, and really lightening my pressure. So at this point right here, I'm barely touching the paper, and there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean this part up. So you guys are looking for a really nice gradual fade. If you don't have that, you need to work towards that, okay? That's what I'm looking for. Or if you chose to go the box route, that's fine, but it also needs to be nice and neat within there. Okay, flip it over to the B pencil, and I'm gonna do the same thing. So what you should notice is the scale on the bottom. So the scale that you're using your B pencil should be in all ways, shapes, and forms should be darker than your H scale that's on top. Okay, so trying to start out a little lighter than what I think I need. And I'm trying not to let the H scale distract me in trying to match, because your B pencil is going to be darker. So don't worry about it matching the value right above it. It shouldn't. It should be darker. Okay, hand position's about halfway on the pencil. Starting to use about the same amount of pressure I'd use to write my name on a piece of paper. All right, starting to increase my pressure more and more. Still kind of being on the safer light side though. All right. Now really starting to increase that pressure to where by the time I get to 10, I should be pressing down as hard as I can on that pencil. Okay, so I got that. Now I'm going to work at making my fade even, okay? And I'm kind of moving my hand faster so that I don't put too much value down. I don't know about you guys, my arm's getting tired. Yeah? Okay, there we go. All right, so you should see a significant difference between your H scale and your B scale. Okay,